When this house was built 23 years ago here in the Arcadia section, the asking price was $19,800. Today, it was bought and appraised for $90,000. According to local realtors, there's a definite real estate boom in the valley. With prices skyrocketing, the obvious question is how can the average budget-minded family get its hands on the kind of money needed today to buy a new home? One new federal law, though, is helping, which cuts down the monthly payments on a house.
It's called 245. Basically what it is a deferred interest plan with a yearly increase in your monthly payments spread over a 5 to 10-year plan, depending on which one you choose.
Under this new law, monthly payment on a $50,000 home could be reduced at first by as much as $100. Also, more people are qualifying for loans since the federal government has threatened discrimination suits against loan institutions that don't give credit to couples who are living together without a marriage certificate. However, with more people qualifying, homes are selling faster, and the average time now for a home on the open market is 30 to 40 days, and the realtors are keeping busy.
Our multiple sales are running 40% above the same time last year, but I think possibly it's a combination of a boom plus a release of the pent-up sales from 1975, 76, and part of 77 that are causing us to experience a sort of rapid sale of houses.
But residential homes are not the only houses that are in demand and going at a good price. Unlike a few years ago, townhouses are now selling fast and furiously. As a matter of fact, one realtor told me that most townhomes are now being purchased within the same day they're put on the market. But regardless of the real estate boom, many realtors are hoping that things will slow down soon. The reason? The fear that the Arizona market will end up like the California one, an overabundance of homes at totally unaffordable prices.
Legendary Frank Lloyd Wright once acclaimed this control tower to be a most magnificent structure of unique design. 26 years ago, it was an engineering feat billed as the tallest of all airport towers, standing 92 feet. Today, the old familiar landmark passed officially into history. The new tower stands nearly 100 feet taller, also an engineering marvel, as modern and up-to-date as they come. The new facility was officially dedicated this morning by a host of dignitaries, which included governors, past governors, mayors, and aviation people. One distinguished gentleman dates back to the days when Sky Harbor was just a field.
I started to fly here in 1930, nearly 48 years ago, and after a few hours they turned it into a lettuce patch, and we moved out to a field on Christie Road. And then the 27th Fighter Squadron from North Island was coming over to get the Frank Lloyd Trophy for aerial gunnery. And Lee Moore and I borrowed a drag and a tractor from a Japanese farmer and dragged runway 8 left. And from that time on, it's been used. I got my license 48 years ago this coming December. So I've watched this rascal grow. It's really something.
You know, Senator, you made some remarks about the fellows that operate the tower.
Oh, yes. Well, you know, so many people take government jobs as just something else, but there's no people in the world that can understand how hard the men in the towers work. The FAA people who work the towers, work the control centers, handle clearances, work the radar. It's the most demanding job that I know of, and I think the American people ought to realize it and give them a salute once in a while instead of kicking them around.
Tower operators seem to like their new home and will no doubt miss the 129 steps that they had to climb each day just to get to work. The new version, you see, has an elevator. Jerry Foster, Cool News 10.
What happened in Tempe today had all the makings of a good Hollywood movie. Pretty girls, daring acrobatics, chivalry, cute little animals, laughs, feats of strength, and lawmen to the rescue.
Go to Area 53, you'll see the sign there. Hi, Mom.
What happened today is a yearly ritual. The dorms at Arizona State University open for business, and the population of Tempe jumps by about 20,000. Activity in the dorm settles down when everyone gets settled in, but today, nothing but madness and sore feet and traffic jams.
You don't stand around here and kind of guide them. They'll just park anywhere, and it'll be a difficult problem afterwards.
It takes forever to go through the numbers. You have to pick a number. And it takes 10 minutes to go through just one, you know. It takes forever.
How long have you been waiting out here?
Well, we've been here since about 12:30. They say that they were lined up at 8:30 this morning.
Going to check into your room?
Check my daughter in.
We've got a heavy load. You been here long?
Yeah, that's about 6th trip.
Heavy?
I think it's got enough stuff in here to last a year and a half.
It's going to be a lot more difficult for most of the students because we ran out of space in June of this year, and we've got about 700 people on the waiting list. So people that are coming in now are trying to get in to make sure they've got their room all claimed by Wednesday.
Why does ASU continue to accept so many students for living on campus when it knows it doesn't have the space for them?
Okay, we haven't accepted any more people, Bill, than we have in the past. We over-assigned by about 5%, and we've done that this year. The only trouble is that we've got more students that sent in an application and are on a waiting list than we've ever had in the past. People we knew we couldn't house to begin with.
About midway through the afternoon, there was a brief scare, a few drops of rain, but never a downpour, which could have dampened spirits and everything else piled up outside the buildings and on cars. And even though they'll be spending a lot of time in lecture halls and classrooms and labs, most students seemed ready to handle the next 3 months, until Christmas break, of course. What are some of the things you're looking forward to in this school year?
Well, a lot of things, as a matter of fact. Trying to boost the grades again this semester, and look like we're going to have a good football team, have a good time this year.
What about the recreational activities?
Well, I like to down a few every now and then, knock a few back for liberty, you know what I'm saying?
School is back. Bill Agatuda, Cool News 10.
These are the basic parts of a cigarette: the filter, the tobacco, and the paper. But there are some other things to think about once the cigarette is burning and the smoke is taken into the body.
This is what's in cigarette smoke. Better filtered, low tar, low nicotine cigarettes reduce some of these chemicals, but they are not eliminated completely. When a smoker inhales, those materials enter the mouth, nose, throat, and then go down the windpipe.
Here we have little hairs, they're like little brooms that sweep out the mucus and dirt and germs. And as this material goes down, even with the first or second puff, these little cilia or hairs become very sluggish, so that all this material is allowed to go deep down into the lung. So you have a process of really a burning off, a swelling of the membranes inside the mouth, the nose, the throat. You have paralysis and eventual destruction of the little hair-like substances that clean out the bronchial tubes, and then all the chemicals unite. And of all the chemicals that go in from a cigarette, roughly 90% of them remain in the lung indefinitely.
This is what you have when a lung is crippled by emphysema. And this is an example of lung cancer with its black scars. Is this the hazard of cigarette smoking? Not everyone thinks so.
What exists is lots of surveys showing that smokers in greater number than non-smokers are the victims of various debilitating diseases, most notably lung cancer, heart disease, and emphysema. The evidence is essentially statistical. There is no clinical proof.
Over the last 10 years, a number of separate medical school investigations and private investigations have shown that the cause of lung cancer, with rare exception, is directly related to heavy smoking, and that the 300,000 people who will die this coming year, both from lung cancer and chronic bronchitis and emphysema, are directly related to smoking.
With 4 to 5 puffs, the smoker's heart rate and blood pressure go up, and the blood and air flow in the lungs is upset. Non-smokers nearby, especially in close quarters, can be affected. Secondhand smoke raises their heart rate and blood pressure, along with the carbon monoxide level in the blood. As a rule, pipe and cigar smokers inhale less, but doctors warn of other problems, like mouth and lip cancer.
Do you ever worry about your health? Yes, I do. My lungs, especially. Would you stop for the sake of your lungs? I probably would, yes. On doctor's orders, I would.
Hyman Hirsch had surgery for lung cancer 2 years ago. Before quitting, he smoked 1 to 2 packs a day for 40 years.
I didn't think I would be able to. Like most people say, oh, I can't do that. But believe me, when that thing comes over you and you're told that you have cancer, you stop everything. That's if you want to live and you have a desire to live. If I knew what it was going to lead to, I would have never gone into smoking.
And for some, that's enough to quit, or not even start. But for others, reported threats of cigarette-caused lung cancer are just a lot of smoke. Dennis Johnson, Cool News 10. With new people moving into Phoenix, their first concern usually is finding a place to live. But if they don't know anyone here, how do they find a doctor? And even if you do live here but don't have a regular doctor and want one, how do you get one? One way is to let your fingers do the walking and the County Medical Society do the talking.
No other way to do it.
Good morning, Medical Society.
Up to 75 people call in daily for a doctor referral, and it's especially heavy during the winter months. Some want a general practitioner, others a specialist. From a pool of 1,600, the names of 3 doctors in the caller's area are given. You can get background information about a doctor, such as education, but you won't get an idea of the prices charged, or the answer to a commonly asked question, is this a good doctor?
We don't rate them good, better, and best. We'll tell them that, and we'll tell them that if they want a board-certified physician or a specialist that has special training in a particular category, we can give them that, which might be different than a general practitioner, but that's all we can give them.
Whether a doctor is good is something you'll just have to find out for yourself. And for the girls who take the calls, there are some lighter moments.
Soon after I got here, we had a person ask for a rug doctor, and I don't know who told him to call here, but I had to tell him that we didn't have anything like that.
So please, no sick carpets, and they don't know of any tree surgeons either. Dennis Johnson, Cool News 10.
The 11 steers made a break for freedom from a South Side slaughterhouse. They were scheduled to die, but had chosen to make a run for it. Described as dangerous by the Department of Public Safety and Phoenix Police, a beefed-up effort of police cars, motorcycles, helicopters, and even news cars began the chase. Two-way radios buzzed of steers running here and there and everywhere. The action all started near 19th Avenue in the freeway and would eventually end up near 24th Street by the airport. It was shades of the Old West and Keystone cops combined. This chase near Central and Buckeye might have occurred 75 years ago in exactly the same spot. And just like the days of horses and spurs, the elusive animals managed to outsteer modern-day man. One policeman found out quickly what was at stake when he was knocked down by one of the bulls. Fears grew that one of the 1,000-pound creatures would hurt someone or perhaps storm through a building. But by high noon, the mission was over. The 11 escapees had been rounded up, and with permission of the slaughterhouse, police regretfully, one by one, shot the bull. Jerry Foster, Cool News 10.